The crop which we will be dealing today is about pearl millet. Now let's start with few introduction. Pearl millet, which is scientifically known as Pennisetum glaucum linus, is one of the most extensively cultivated cereals in the world. They are popularly known as bajra in India. It occupies sixth position after rice, wheat, maize, barley, and sorghum in terms of area planted to this crop. It is the principal cereal cultivated in drought-prone semi-arid regions of Africa and Indian subcontinent, mostly for food uses. It flourishes well even under adverse conditions of weather and is considered to be the most drought-tolerant crop among cereals and also in millets. It provides staple food for the poor in a short period in a relatively dry tracts. That is why it is considered to be a poor man's food. Pearl millet is considered to be originated in tropical Western Africa some 4,000 years ago, from where it spread to India and Southern Africa some 2,000 to 3,000 years ago. Out of 32 species described by Steph in the year 1934, only 2 are known outside Africa. Next, let's have a look about its geographic distribution. Pearl millet is grown mostly in tropical climates. It is widely grown in Africa as well as Asia. 60% of the world millet area is in Africa. Asian countries occupy 35% of the world millet area. The important pearl millet growing countries are India, China, Nigeria, Pakistan, Sudan, Egypt, Arabia, and Russia. In USA, Australia, Southern Africa, and South America, pearl millet is grown on limited scale as a forest crop. In India, it is grown almost in every state except in high rainfall areas like Assam, West Bengal, and Orissa. It is generally grown in areas of low rainfall and poor soils in the state of Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, and Haryana. Next, we will discuss about its classification. In the year 1934, Steph divided the genus Pennisetum into 5 sections. The first is Penicillaria, next is Gymnotria, third one is Eupennisetum, next is Heterostachy, next is Brevivalvula. Now we will discuss about its climatic requirement. Pearl millet can grow in a wide range of ecological conditions and yield reasonably well even under unfavorable conditions of drought and high temperatures. They grow best at 30 to 34 degrees Celsius with about 600 to 800 millimeters of annual rainfall. But they can also be grown in areas which receive even less than 350 millimeters of seasonal rainfall. The rainfall at flowering time is harmful as it washes off the pollen and consequently there is a poor seed setting. Usually, it is grown in those areas where it is not possible to grow sorghum because of high temperature and low rainfall. Next we have is soil requirement. Pearl millet can be grown on a wide variety of soil, but being sensitive to waterlogging, it does best on fertile, well-drained loamy soils. It is sensitive to acidic soils. It can also as the seeds are of very small size. A deep plowing followed by 2 to 3 harrowings is considered to be optimum. The land should be leveled after final plowing using levelers to ensure that rainwater does not stagnate. Moisture is a critical element in good seed bed preparation and is essential for the successful establishment of the crop. Next, we will see what are the different sowing methods. Three systems of pearl millet sowing are followed. They ensure fast germination but uniform plant population as well. Thinning should be done 3 to 4 weeks after sowing. Timely sowing of pearl millets may not be possible due to several unavoidable reasons. In such case, transplanting may be 15 October. Now we will discuss about manures and fertilizer application. Application of 10 to 15 tons of compost or farmyard manure per hectare is sufficient for local varieties of pearl millet. But for high yielding or hybrid varieties, inorganic fertilizers are to be supplemented. General recommendation is 80 to 100, 40 to 60, 40 to 50 kg per hectare of NPK for irrigated conditions and 40 25 25 kg per hectare of NPK for rainfed conditions. Half dose of nitrogen and full dose of phosphorus and potassium should be applied at the time of sowing. The remaining nitrogen is to be top dressed 3 to 4 weeks after sowing, coinciding with the availability of sufficient soil moisture. Next, we will see what cropping system can be followed in pearl millet. Some of the most important cropping systems practiced in India are given below. First is about the crop rotation. Pearl millet can also be grown in rotation with sorghum, groundnut, cotton, foxtail millet, chickpea, wheat, barley, finger millet, castor, and potato. And in case of intercropping, pearl millet can be intercropped successfully with crops like pigeon pea, groundnut, soybean, sunflower, and green gram. Mixed cropping of pearl millet with pigeon pea or cluster bean is the most common. Mixture with green gram, black gram, cowpea, sorghum, and other cereals, vegetables, etc. during rainy season are practiced under different situations. Next we have is about water management. Pearl millet is basically a rain-fed crop. However, if sufficient rain are not received, irrigation prior to sowing is recommended. Greatest water use occurs during the flowering and soft down stage. The visible signs for moisture requirement of the crop are drooping and withering of leaves in the morning and cracking of the soil surface of the field. Pearl millet does not tolerate waterlogging, so rainwater should not be allowed to stay in the field for more than a few hours. Next, we will see about weed management. The damage due to infestation of weed is severe during the first 3 to 5 weeks after sowing. Early planting of pearl millet avoids competition from the flush of weeds that comes up with continuous rain during the early monsoon period. Weed can be removed mechanically by hand or with implements such as wheel hoe, hand hoe, etc. But deep hoeing near the plants should be avoided so that their roots are not damaged. When the manual weeding becomes very difficult, pre-emergence application of atrazine, propazine, prometrine, and semazine at the rate of 0.5 to 1 kg active ingredient per hectare are recommended. Application of metolachlor at the rate of 1 kg active ingredient per hectare has been found to control the weeds effectively in pearl millet intercrop with pulses. Low rates of 2,4-D at 0.5 to 1 kg per hectare may be applied as post-emergence when the plants are about 10 to 30 cm tall. Next we have is insect management. A brief description of the major pests. Of infected seeds. Chemically, this can be managed by treatment of seed with a mixture of 2 gram emission and 4 gram theorem per kg of seed. This can also be managed by spraying with 1.5 kg per hectare at both leaf stage, followed by 1 or 2 spray at 10 days interval. Use of resistant cultivars like WC C75, ICTP 8203 and ICMB 155. A next disease is smut, whose causal organism is Mysiomyces penicillaria. And culturally, this can be managed by deep plowing soon after harvest. And chemical control strategy includes spraying with 1.5 kg Vitavix per hectare at both leaf stage, followed by 1 or 2 sprays at 10 days interval. Chemical control measures are neither economical nor feasible at farmers' level. The major limitations to the chemical control of smut in pearl millet are low economic value of the crop and the scarcity of the resources available to the pearl millet growing farmers. Use of resistant cultivars like WC C75, ICTP 8203 and ICMB 155. Next is about the rust disease, whose causal organism is Vaccinia peniceti. Cultural management methods include good weed control practice helps reduce rust. Chemically, this can be managed by dusting sulfur and similar inorganic chemicals applied frequently enough to control rust, but this may not be economical to the farmers growing pearl millet for grain. Use of resistant cultivar is the best option. Next is about harvesting. The best days to harvest pearl millet is when the plant reaches physiological maturity. Physiological potential of pearl millet. Pearl millet is usually grown with low or no external inputs. Hence, yields are generally very low, 300 to 800 kg per hectare grain yield. However, when cultivated as an irrigated crop with 60 to 80 kg per hectare applied nitrogen, pearl millet hybrid have produced 4000 to 5000 kg per hectare of grain yield during the summer season in some parts of India. Now, coming to the conclusion, pearl millet can grow in a wide range of ecological conditions on different soils and yield reasonably well even under unfavorable conditions of drought stress and high temperatures. Due to its highly adaptive nature combined with high yield potential make pearl millet an important cereal crop that can effectively address the emerging challenges of global warming, water shortage, land degradation, and food related health issues.